Last one, Elminster's Errands. Elminster's Errands. I think what you just kind of have to do is like can you complete all 7 days of the trial, right? Um, if you can do all 7 days, that's more important than even if you can do 5 out of the 7 days. That's more important than putting up an outrageous day one bud. You want to get the highest you possibly can on day one, even if it takes multiple runs. Like if you didn't soft cap on the first run, and where you want to use that to like push, try to get a little bit more, whatever. Uh, Day one is your big day, but after that, you get more from doing all of those dailies than you get really from your day one. You're just trying to give yourself a good solid foundation to stand on, and then boost off that. Um, because it's not multiplicative after that; it's additive after that. So whatever you can get, like whatever you can get. But it's not so much about like having an outrageous day one, basically. What am I doing here? Blah 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 blah. Okay, yes. We get the core champions and any reworked. Wow, Hitch. Yeah, not gonna get Hitch. Okay. So this can be normal, and we'll go AOE. Niali will be my tank. Zara's gonna be my DPS. I guess we'll do the same kind of thing we did before. So, funky DPS setup like this. Sure. Sure. That's fine. Well, actually, we won't use Delana. We'll do Minsk. Yeah. Give it some early power with some levels. I don't know yet. And then we'll cruise again. Oh, I got a blinky light though. Blinky light. What's going on? Unlock light as Rix's. I don't care. Go away, blinky light. Okay. Oh, we're in an ad break. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So Anvil Fireforge TLDR. I don't know that the number is as important as making sure you have the power to push at least 5 out of the other 7 days, regardless of the restrictions. Once you get up into like tier 8 through 10, you really need to be able to show up for as many days as possible. On my main account right now, we just have 4 people doing it. I've been doing every day, and I think we're in a position where now we can beat it. But my DPS total DPS contribution so far is like around 14,000 after multiple days, 4 or 5 days. And there's somebody that's still at like 3,500 because they just got restricted out real hard. But we're still going to beat her because we got like 2 people over 10K. Doing the extra days is the big deal. The first day is you want to do whatever you can, but it's really about those extra days. So 100K item level spurt with a maxed Delana can hit E1500 Bud. Okay. So yeah, so that 13K DPS probably is still hacking. Maybe. I need to see. It doesn't matter. They can do whatever they want, but yeah, I don't think there's a legitimate way to get there, but there might be. Hey, Shevik. Yeah, having the perks, if you can get the, any trials perks, and currently, the scrolls for assault party, that's the big deal. But I just pop them all when I remember. Max them all out every time. It's just helps having a maxed out Jarlaxle and maxed out Makos. All of those things, especially at the upper end, it's a big deal. Especially that assault part, maxing out that assault party bonus. During optimal time to use saved up bounty contracts for event tokens. Index, I like to do it on a deep run, like at the end of my deep run, just try to see if I can get enough gold to upgrade my champions some more. Like usually it's the first one in an event. If you're beyond your first deep run, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just use them. Nice save. Hope you're all not guilty. I would hope everyone's not guilty in the first place, not just found not guilty. Okay, I need to do some math here. And I hate it. Okay. I think. Oh no, 5. Yeah, we're fine. It's Mystical Mentor. 5 stacks versus 7. There's only 7 ineligible champions. All right. Fine. I mean, the only time it's really going to help with the deep push for favor is usually your very first deep push in a time gate event or campaign. Beyond that, it's because of the way they calculate the goal for those drops. Beyond that, it's kind of garbage. Yeah, I just kind of when the event's going. Oh, speaking of, when the event's going and I get them out of chests, I just pop them at this point because I already did my deep run. Hey, you got a level. Anything else I want to open? No. Because this Gale chest could now go horribly wrong. But I'm a ways away from another chest pack. I think you set your highest spot on day 2 or 3 or even sometimes day 4. Really? Why? It's strange. Are you like pushing deep on those days? Like past the area completion goal? Because once I get to the area completion goal, I'm out. I don't mess around with that at all. But I'd done all the deep runs for this event, but then the T2 penny variants that got to 2001 boosted my favorite E01. E101. I've never been to E101 ever. So, congrats. I've never had over a E100 favor anywhere. I think my highest is somewhere in the 90s. Is there a place or website I could check which map has which enemies? If you just unlocked Mert, my advice to you is don't do the challenges. I have unlocked Mert. And what I did is I went and did 2 variants that got me enough influence to buy my time gate piece every week. And then I've been using that currency to buy my thing here. I have not tried to do any variants, and I'm not gonna. Or any challenges. When I run out of this currency, like on Monday, I will spend this currency, and at some point between Monday and the Monday after that, I'll have to do a variant to get currency for the next week's time gate piece. And if I complete any challenges during that, great. But otherwise, no. No, it's your last challenge. Mad Wizard. So Fiends, Mad Wizard. Just go to Mad Wizard. There's levels with Fiends. So if we talk about this, I don't even have. Kill Fiend. Wow, did you get different? Oh, here it is. 5,000 Fiends. Yeah, go to Mad Wizard. You can get it there. If you just want to farm it just to say you did them all once, go for it. But generally speaking, they're not worth your time early on. Early on. And the only thing you want to spend your time gate piece on, or the only thing you want to spend your currency on initially is this time gate piece. And then down here between this potion and this feat, you'll unlock Modron component chests once you have a Modron core. That's the next target. That one takes 5,000 currency each week, so you got to start doing more of it then. But that's also going to take a lot of influence to get there. I don't, it's kind of inefficient use of your time to bother with that stuff early on. For day 2 is the deep push. Oh, see, I think you just if you don't get enough gold to max out your potential contributions on your first run on day 1, then do another run. That's my mentality, because day 2 could be, it might be restrictive enough that you can't go further than you did before. But I don't risk it. Crackles. Oh well. Did everybody hear crackles? Yeah. All right. So it wasn't the USB port didn't fix it. Worth a shot. It was worth a shot. An awakened microphone familiar called Crackles. I was thinking about that. Crackles the familiar. Two runs on day 1 can be possible because of different time zones and the starting time. Oh, like if you join somebody and they started at a time and you only have time. Yeah, I mean that's fair, but man, I'm just saying. Usually day 1 is when you want to do 2. If I listen back to people have clipped it, and it doesn't matter. So here I want to make something very clear. Me hearing it doesn't matter. I trust that you're telling me the truth. People have clipped it. I've heard it. Me hearing it doesn't help me stop it, because it's not consistently happening during any specific thing. What we really, when I was trying to dive into it yesterday, we were doing a lot of stuff to try to figure it out. It seemed to happen most when my CPU spikes in usage for some reason. It's not getting anywhere near the cap of the CPU, but for some reason, when my CPU spikes, even a small spike, audio crackles. Don't know why. It may be that whatever's causing the audio crackle is causing the CPU spike. I don't know. I have no way to figure that out. But we've tried a different mic. We've tried, like, this mic hooks up in a different way. I've tried putting it into a different USB port. I've tried the troubleshooting steps that other people have said have fixed it. We tried turning off like the music and the desktop audio. I tried one client versus 2, and The heavier a load I put my CPU under, the more it crackles. Like, what? So, I don't understand. Crackles could be my charity familiar. No. If they ever said, hey, Garward, you want to do a charity familiar? It would be Sortle. The first chance I could get to Sortle in the game, it would. Yeah, it's something to do with the audio getting into OBS. You can search OBS crackle, microphone crackle, and there's lots of stuff. And for some people, it's like the hertz you have, the megahertz you have your audio in. I aligned all that. For some people, it's like software they're running their mic through. And well, I technically haven't tried that yet. Could turn off this audio processing software. Testing. Let's hold on. Okay. So this is going to be a completely different. We just lost our background noise suppression. So you're going to hear every noise that's in my room that can be picked up by this mic. You're going to hear it now. We'll see if it crackles. If it still crackles, then that software's getting turned back on. But I don't even know if, I mean, you tell me if it suddenly got real noisy. It might even be picking up the music playing through the speakers now. So I think that's just, that would be the worst experience. I'd rather have occasional crackle. Yeah, a little Sortle can keep the door open for big Sortle. Harky, how does Narak work? It's a good question. The answer is not the greatest. So Narak has a buff and a debuff. And they're both built around maxing out stacks of his key points. But stacks of key points can be maxed and then they degrade as you hit things. But so for the buff, you can high watermark it and get to max stacks. And it's using the highest stacks you ever got to in the adventure, and you can kind of max out the buff. But the debuff is based off whatever you currently have when you hit a target. The problem with Narak that a lot of us are complaining about, and when we say he has an ableist alt, is that it's a dex-based minigame in a game that has lag. And so you have to play the minigame and get it perfect and combine it with Dungeon Master to get it to max. You can't get it to max without Dungeon Master. So, which basically means you have to play the minigame perfectly twice in a row. And you have to do it every time you want to max out the debuff. So there are people who use Narak and they just don't level him up very much to the point where he can, and then they park a familiar on his ultimate and just grab a few stacks every time the ultimate goes off, and they can get that high watermark up to 60. I think it's 60. Anyway, they get it to max, but then they level up Narak, and then they just ignore the debuff. And they find that he's still a solid champion even when they ignores the debuff. But he has a buff and a debuff, and the debuff can be huge, but yeah. We just hear the mouse clicks and the computer fans. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now you're going to hear all of it. You may have heard a dog. You're going to hear all my, you hear how my mouse clicks. You're going to hear my, hold on, let me type something. Right, you're going to hear all of that. You're going to hear all of that now. That's what I don't like about that. I love that software. If you tried spiking your CPU with a benchmark similar to reproduce the crackle. No. What we did, we were able to reproduce it over and over by firing up another client. Like the CPU drain when another client came up, made it crackle. Repeatedly. Yeah. Yeah, basically, if you have Dungeon Master in Narak, you run Narak's minigame to max, hit Dungeon Master's alt to reset Narak's alt, run the minigame again, and that maxes him out. Is Narak's debuff triggered manually? Well, it's triggered on hit, but only if you have key points. When he attacks with key points, he debuffs the enemy based off the number of stacks of key, like points of key you have. But every time you attack, it consumes key. So you're supposed to play this minigame, and then it's supposed to wear off, and then you play the minigame again, and then it wears off, and then you play the minigame again, and it wears off. You're supposed to, it's an active play, he's an active play debuffing champion, but it's a dex-based minigame, and first off, in a game with lag, never do that. I'll play dex-based minigames in Dave the Diver. I'll play them in lots of other games that aren't like trying to contact servers and stuff and creating lag based off calculations. Like, I'll do those all day in another game, but here it's the worst. And then on top of that, it's like, I mean, you may not be able to hit that thing over and over and over again. It's a dex-based minigame. By definition, it's ableist. If there's not a way to like turn it off or make it easier. Yeah, but Lurking Rider, that's just to get you 60 stacks for the buff. Again, that does nothing for you to get a debuff, right? You have to play it again when he's leveled up to get the debuff. So stack decay fast to speed potions make it even harder to click at the right time. Speed doesn't affect it. They disconnected it from any speed effects. But you have to turn off auto progress. You have to sit on a level, because if you progress to a next level, it turns his ultimate off. And then you got to wait for the cooldown timer to come back to try it again. Again, it's just not. Justin said on stream they were trying to make a unique ultimate, and that's like, well, that's fine, but like unique and functional are two different things. I can make unique stuff all the time. That doesn't mean it's going to be functional or enjoyable, and that's more important than unique. Spurt slot 3 golden epic worth it, or is it just slot 6 that's important? I don't. 6 is the one that you want if you're going to invest 10,000 item levels into Spurt. I don't know. I can't remember what 3 is, and I don't have Spurt to check. My favorite E65 to E68 using dirty gold farming without min-maxing it. Nice. Yeah, I think Penelope is going to be huge for people's gold find. Centipede? Oh yeah, I don't know what's Centipede Net. Yeah, it's solid. That's their main thing, I think. Hold on. I'm pretty sure that's solid. But like the biggest one is slot 6. Yeah. Centipede Net's their main ability, so yeah, that's the big one. Or that's a big one. It's just that slot 6 is the biggest. I mean, the RNG stuff of like Shaka and Dungeon Master and Voronika, they kind of are what they are. Tatiana, you know, you just have to learn that those aren't automating. You can't automate those champions, and you kind of try them out and see if they're going to work, but they're not always gonna. But Narak is like in a class of their own. Like I can live with the RNG, the Narak thing. Coming out of a deep push, so I can do some legendary upgrades. Unsure exactly how I'm using Penelope for gold find. You just put her in. So she's got a new ability called Story Time. So anytime people adjacent to her attack, you kind of need her in the whole run because you have to stack up these stacks. Anytime people adjacent to her attack, they add a stack. Anytime a boss walks into one of her insect swarms, it increases the total stack count by 2.5%. So you want a combination of you want to farm a boss level or sit on a boss level if you're doing it at the end of a run. Sit on a boss level where people are surrounded by a Penelope and attacking, and the boss is sitting in these insect swarms, and you're killing the boss, but they're entering the insect swarm, and then you're killing the boss over and over and over again. Because it builds up a ramping gold find that's going to cap at 1 EO9 stacks. So you're trying to get it to 1 EO9. And then she's just going to increase your gold gain. And then it's dirty gold farming. Then it's the whole hot swapping between a pushing formation to Bud Spike with a Fire Breath Potion, and then back to the gold find formation, and then back and forth as necessary. You would like Penelope from level 1. You don't need that. You don't actually need that. It just makes it less work. You can have Briv in the formation. Just because you have Briv doesn't mean you can't back up and go to a boss level. She would still be building baseline stacks off people next to her attacking. And then once you get to the point where either your Briv runs out of jumps or you farm on a wall, that's when you start boosting it multiplicatively. Like the percent base boosts. Doesn't stack in the background? Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Yeah, they'll have to manually go in and fix that. Yeah, you can't just sit on a boss farm. It's better if you're like, well, they don't disappear after 1 minute. The stacks dissipate after. Oh, hold on. It was supposed to be the amount of time. Or I mean, the amount of time somebody spent in them. Yeah. It's not a minute. 100% to 40%. Right, but that's... But you're saying someone's standing in it for 60 seconds. And I'm saying no. I'm saying the second someone enters it, they should die. You should be killing them. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing as 60 seconds. I get what you're saying if someone's just standing in it, but you don't want someone just standing in it. You need the boss to enter it, then you need to kill the boss immediately, respawn the enemies, and do it again. Or if you've got a knockback and they walk back and forth into the swarm over and over again. But one of those two things has to happen. Are you going to end up having to change levels or reset the level at some point? Sure. This is why I said I'd rather people just put Penelope in and use Penelope the whole run. She'll stack up on her own pretty well, feels like. Dirty gold farming isn't helping when you've over leveled already. Oh, if you're way past, like if you've been converting again and again and again, yeah, you've. I was about to say you've screwed yourself. Yeah, but you kind of have, right? Like once you've pushed your gold find via conversions well over what you could gain from a run, the only way it ever goes up again is by continuing what you're doing. Time gates, events, trial conversions. Yeah, that's the only thing that's going to make it go up at that point. Which is why I've never tried to really over convert. Like the only place I'm over converted on my main is Turn of Fortune's Wheel. Safe. I hope you mean you're just ending your stream watching for the day. Hope everything's going well. If not, call somebody. So with Caddy's boss, why is the boss purple health and why does she die differently? She has, so we kind of have called it drow armor. Where basically, as she spawns enemies, the enemies are what's, like her spawns are what make up her armor. You just have to wait and kill all of the things that spawn. And once she's done spawning enemies, then you can kill her. I just called that drow armor because it's a special boss feature she has. Some champions need to be in from level 1, like Blushi and Eliwick, for example. We're on an ad break. Did we get? Oh, it was that one. That's right. We didn't get any more speed. But yeah, Ellie's RNG and ramping. You have to put her in at level 1 and then hope she gets good RNG. Belushi is just ramping. You got to put her in early and stay alive through as many bosses as possible. And Freely wants to just be in from level 1 and leveled up and to get as much adventurous tail stacks. But yeah, they have said they want to move away from that. But they haven't. There are champions that still have things like that. Can't Vise... Oh, now I can't remember. Doesn't Vise... Can't you put her in later now? Oh, technically you can put her in at the end of the run. You just have to then farm her sass. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's some of them are farmable with time. So Vi, Voronika, Xeraphon. But some literally have to be in at the beginning, and that's like Eliwick, Blushi, Freely. I can't remember the others. There isn't a way to speed it up, but you can just go back to a level like Area 1 where she'll wait impatiently because you're killing things instantly, and then just speed pot up and wait for her to stack up. But yeah, with when it comes to gold farming on my main account, I except for Turn of Fortune's Wheel, I've specifically never tried to go like to hard convert anywhere because of the way leveling up legendaries works. I've always just wanted to be able to farm up in a run and do a forge run and upgrade my stuff. At some point, whenever they redo the trials, that's one thing that Justin said he wants to change is take away the favor cost for upgrading a legendary. You would still need the favor threshold. Like there's still an amount of favor you would need to be able to upgrade, but you wouldn't be spending it. Well, I mean, look, if you can recreate stacking issues regularly, then you need to not just submit a ticket. You also need to outline exactly what you're doing to recreate it. And a lot of you like to just say, well, I just do it. And that ain't it. That's not helpful because clearly they're trying to just do it and it's not working. So it's like for me with Bud's Buggy, it just happens. But saying it just happens and being able to teach somebody how to recreate it, two different things. I have not been able to find a way to explain it in writing that makes sense to people, apparently. And I'm pretty good at this. And I'm pretty good at explaining things in writing. I don't know what the disconnect is. I don't know what the disconnect is at all. The favor threshold isn't the annoying part. It might be for you, but it's not. That's almost the no-brainer part. Like if you're trying to level up to, you know, legendary level 20, then it would make sense that you should be able to throw down E100 favor in a campaign. Like that's as far as they're concerned, that's the requirement. Um, and that I don't have a problem with that. But when you're constantly having to spend favor, that's the bigger problem. I know people want to be able to spend favor to adjust Briv gem farms. Well, guess what? They're not designing this game around your Briv gem farm. We created Briv gem farms around their game design. Two different things. Two different things. Put freely in and return to the gem farm. Not much more to explain, but clearly there is. Like, or else they'd have figured it out, right? That's what I'm saying. A lot of people take things for granted, and when you're trying to troubleshoot bugs, you can't. You can't. Hopefully, like you would hope that when you submit the ticket, if you're submitting it while you're in that formation, where it didn't work, they should be able to just load that formation in and recreate it, but for whatever reason, it's not working. So the more tickets they get, maybe finally somebody's information, somebody's ticket will give them what they need. But if people just keep accepting it and be like, well, we've reported it already, well, obviously that wasn't enough. I don't need you to tell me in chat how to do it. I don't need that. You need to put that in tickets to support, right? I am not support. I'm just explaining that clearly they need more information. You would think they should, but it doesn't matter. What you think, what we think they should be able to do doesn't matter. People's expectations at times. Look, what you think should happen in any case in our world is rarely what does. So at some point, you got to sit down and be realistic about things in video games and beyond, and recognize that what should happen doesn't. And you got to figure out how to get from explain what is happening in a way to make the people understand, and be able to fix it. If this was easy, we wouldn't have political problems like we do. We wouldn't. But this is at its core a very difficult thing for humans to do. It is a skill set. Yeah. Look, there are people that submit tickets that are just screenshots, and they're like, and the title of the ticket is "Fix It." Fix what? Fix what? So at some point, if you're fine with it, the status quo staying the same, keep reporting it the same way. Keep just expecting that they're going to figure it out. If you want to change it, you gotta get more in depth. I've kind of, because I know that for me to fix Bud's Buggy, for me to get them to understand Bud's Buggy, I need to sit down with someone in a video call and show it to them. Like, show them how to build it, show them how to make it, because I have done very good explanations of it, both in writing and verbally. They can't. It's not processing. So then you have to try the show, because people learn in different ways. And I haven't been able to find anybody that has the time to be able to do that. So they should change that ability? No, they need to fix that ability. What? Get rid of the ability then? No. This isn't an all or nothing thing. This isn't an all or nothing thing. Don't take a video? What do you mean? Like, I've done it on video and I've sent them clips. I've sent them like links to videos. They can't, for whatever reason, they can't grok just like picking that up and then figure out how to do it. No one has time. It's not about they won't do it. It's that, like, everyone's busy. Like, these people have jobs. and a bug that for as far as they're concerned is random, and that isn't, like, people aren't abusing prevalent in the computer and the game as far as they can tell. Yeah, the fact that I can do it over and over and over again. Their job is this. Oh God, folks. If you work at McDonald's and your job is to make French fries, and someone has a complaint about the hamburgers, you're not the person that deals with that. There are specific people that have specific jobs. And if those people are busy, if they're busy because they're doing things that need to be done for them to keep the lights on at the company, a bug that they consider low priority you just don't just be like, okay, well, we're just going to do this. Like, you don't just get to dictate, this is your job, fix it. Like, it's not how any company works. It's not how any company works. Um, yeah. At some point, we had really tried. I tried with the systems designer because we knew some champions with debuffs were going to be coming out, and they just couldn't get it. They couldn't get it to work. So the next thing I was going to try was to sit down with Mars, but man, Mars is very busy. Because if I can explain it to Mars, Mars has more FaceTime with the devs than I get on a regular basis. I get maybe an hour every couple of weeks with one person. Mars actually works there. but Mars is very busy, and I know the kinds of things he's busy on, and that's going to take priority over an hour or two with me in a video conference. So, yeah. Explain the bug through the medium of interpretive dance. There you go. But yeah, this bug is so messed up that what has to happen is I have to teach somebody at CNE how to reproduce it 100% of the time, and then they need to teach that to the person that would be troubleshooting it and being able to look at like the log and create logs to figure out what's going on. There's a lot of layers to this. I've tried to go through Taylor. Taylor just hasn't been able to, either can't reproduce it or it's not, people aren't reporting enough for it to go on the high priority list. Because why would anybody report a bug that's in their favor? That's what it comes down to it. This is a bug that lets people complete content they should never be able to complete. Why would people report that? And honestly, when a bug is in the player's favor, that's lower priority than it's when it's working against them. But yeah, there's just a lot of layers to this. Yeah, who's gonna fix the ice cream machine? I wanted to shake. Well, it's not working right now. It's working. You just cleaned it already and don't want to clean it again. Don't give me that shit. I know how that works. I remember working at Jamba Juice, and we'd clean towards the end of the day. We'd clean out the juicer, like the big orange juicer, and it takes a while to clean and disinfect properly. And then somebody walk in and ask for an orange juice, and we're like, fuck. We did it every time, but it always delayed our ability to leave by a good 20, 25 minutes. It's not that Sean can't get hidden codes out. It is clear that Sean has been told that that is not where his time should be spent. Sounds like what you're saying is bug fixing is low priority unless people complain. Is this not common knowledge? If a bug isn't affecting, if a bug is affecting the community in a positive way, devs very, very rarely hear about it. When it's affecting the community in a negative way, they hear about it a lot. That level of complaint and the level of how it affects, how it breaks the game, determines the priority in which it gets put into a list to potentially look at and fix. Because there's not enough money in the world or time in the world to fix every bug in a game, no matter what company you are. So the public complaints, and again, bugs that are against the player, higher priority than bugs that are for the player, which is why it took forever to get the Krull fix in or the Orkira fix in for their bugs that were in the player's favor that everybody called nerfs. It was low priority because it was in our favor. Was one ever reached on this account max? Oh, I don't know. Were we in the... Well, it's kind of... it's kind of a little weird because it's probably the highest zone was probably in Bee Stingers Unleashed, and that's not normal. I don't know. I don't think I've been keeping track. Yeah. Who's going to buy the cotton candy machine that Lauren deserves? Yeah, telephone is horrible, yes. So like I said, I can't just submit a ticket. I gotta get somebody to be able to reproduce it on their end consistently. Otherwise, we're just playing telephone. Twitch is... If Twitch is telling you to buy VIP again, Twitch is stupid. But I think we kind of know that. Yeah, I mean they already have the diamond. Even if you're coding not a game, bug fixes are prioritized by how much a problem they cause exactly. And how easy is it to like reproduce them? How long is it going to take? I mean, beyond that, how easy can you reproduce it to even be able to then try to fix it? And then once you determine how to reproduce it and you kind of figure out what's going wrong, how long is it going to take to fix it? What else is going to be affected by that? There's a whole long list of things that you have to come up with in order to prioritize, put things on a to-do list. Complaints are how it affects money. Oh yeah, stores, shops, in-game cash shops are the first thing to get fixed in any video game. They have to be. Because if the money stops coming in, then the game stops getting made. People complain about that all the time. They're like, oh my god, look at that. Anytime there's a fix for... Anytime the cash shop gets broken, it gets fixed right away. Whereas we're waiting on this forever. And it's like, well, yeah, because if they don't fix the cash shop, then the game's getting shut down. How does this not understood by people? If you stop making money, they stop paying their employees. If they stop paying their employees, those employees stop coming into work. That means the game's over. That means the game's over. I don't understand. I don't think Caddy's thing is like Bee Stinger. I used it like Bee Stinger. You need like the Dark Urge in. You need one other champion that can come in. Somebody's got a tank for Caddy Bree, and the Dark Urge tanks very well. If you got Dungeon Master and you bring in an actual tank, even better. Yeah, we're not working on guides today. This is just pushing and trying to complete content. 175. I haven't done all the tier 4 stuff. Penelope's stuff was pretty straightforward. I did all tier 4 for Penelope. I did all the content for Penelope. She was my priority on my main account. Gem farm question. Is there a reason to go to 500 versus resetting at 100? Yeah, overall efficiency. Every time you reset, you're losing time on the reset. So the less often you can reset, the more more efficient your farm is. As long as, if you can go to stage 500 instantly killing everything, then yeah, it's usually better than resetting at a lower area. Bug fixing is like triage in an emergency room. I mean, that's another way to think of it. Or in a battlefield. Yeah, then you got to fix it, and then you got to test to make sure that fix didn't break something else. And look, So what's the old joke? It's 99 video game bugs on the wall, 99 video game bugs. Fix one bug, patch it around. 547 video game bugs on the wall. Like, it's like, well, we fixed this one and we broke all these other things in the process. You know? Yeah. You have to prioritize problems in order of importance. Is pretty true for not coding too. Mm-hmm. And you have to prioritize cash income is over other things. Is pretty much a life thing for a lot of us. Maybe not people who have like lots of cash, but if my money stops coming in, guess what becomes my priority? Getting money to come in. Getting more money. I mean, the second doing content creation stops making me what limited money it does, I gotta find something else to do. There's no waiting around. No, we're not at war with CNE. CNE is at war with bugs in their game. That's the battlefield triage. For background party gem grinding, first off, let me stop you right there. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. Can you put parties in the background and their only purpose for you is just to earn some gems? Yes. But that's not a gem farm. It's not a gem farm because it's super slow. Is it always Mad Wizard, or do you ever change it? So when I put my background parties places, it's for patron currency, it's for filling challenges, and I'm getting green gems along the way. But I'm trying to do both things: is get green gems, get some green gems, and get some patron currency, which I usually get. I can get all my challenges done in the background. Mad Wizard is for everything except undead. And for undead, I usually go to Vecna Lives, but technically I wish I could just click on Terror in the Dark in the same like adventure node. So undead is the only thing that isn't in Mad Wizard from challenges. You can literally just do Mad Wizard for everything except undead. So I do patron chores in the background, and I just throw it on Mad Wizard, and it does its thing. Because I'm not trying to be super efficient or anything with it. By the end of the week, I have to go back and change the formation like once to different, whoever they want a different DPS or whatever different set of champions it is. If they also need undead, then I move it to a different place at that time. So I check my patron stuff twice a week, and it's done for 3 patrons. I don't bother about the other one. Well, now 2. I've done defect management before, so this conversation gives me flashbacks. Oh, I bet. What's frustrating is when you end up with companies like Boeing, whose upper management decides that profit is more important than safety. And so, so even if the people at Boeing want to create safe products, management just goes, no, we're trying to make a lot of money here, and then gets rid of the people that complain about it. In case you were wondering why doors are coming off of Boeing airplanes. Yeah. Not what Sean says. On New Game Plus, he sets up his background party to get 30k gems for me. $30k gems. Whatever. I don't know. The goal of a background party is they're not a gem farm. If you want a gem farm, you're better off making gems in your active party, but whatever. Do they earn some gems? Yeah. I didn't say they didn't. I just said they're not. That's not where you gem farm. See, the day and day had a Lego themed stream this morning. I had seen the workup, I'd seen all the promotional stuff coming from it. I didn't watch the stream. I was busy. Why are doors coming off planes and since when? Have you not been reading the news? Yeah, it's a big problem. Yeah. Hold on. When did this happen? January? Yeah. On January 5th, the door plug of a commercial Boeing 737 MAX 9 came off as the plane was climbing, opening a large hole on the side of the plane, and it sucked a bunch of stuff out. Yeah, it's 16,000 feet. Yep. So there's a whole thing. It was a whole thing. And why did it come off? Because Boeing, as it's come out, Boeing executives and upper management prioritized profitability over safety of their products, which is never a thing you should do when you're talking about a giant metal tube suspended in the air thousands of feet. Yeah. Yeah. This is why you should never be against government regulation for safety stuff, folks. You should be like, yes, I want it as safe as possible. Thank you. Regulate that. I don't think any people got sucked out. I think it was like people's phones got sucked out. Hold on. I can't remember, honestly. Hold on. Let me go check. No one was injured, so yeah. No one was seriously injured. Yeah, so I'm gonna say that means nobody got sucked out the plane. But they found people's phones all over the place. Some were still working, some weren't. Yeah. Yeah. But this is just like one in a long string of problems with Boeing's over years. So altitude was low. It was 16,000 feet. That's not low. Yeah, someone found an iPhone that gets sucked out and survived the drop. Yeah, thousands of feet, but I can drop mine from my hand and it's toast. Like, it depends on what it lands on, right? And it most likely landed on Earth. Like, there are people that have been sucked out of planes and with no parachute hit the ground, bounced, and walked away. Luck is a thing. Luck is a thing. I wouldn't try that, folks, ever. No, you can't make a commercial off something like this. That would be, man, oof. People would turn on you real quick. Yeah, my mom, yeah, I know all about the Max series. My mom used to work for American Airlines, so she was in basically I mean, what was kind of her job description? So there's all kinds of contracts that happen with parts because you don't necessarily buy engines. She was an engine wrecker. So you don't necessarily buy engines, you lease them. Uh, and there's all of this documentation that has to go with leases, and you have to cross-reference all, all of their, like, when are they up for pulling off and being maintenanced and all this kind of stuff. And then when they go back to the company that owns them, like, there's all this paper. She tracked all that stuff. She was part of a group that tracked all that stuff. So I got to hear about all that back from people, either, even after she stopped working there. I mean, she still knows lots of people that work there, and you hear all that stuff. Did I grind up more Elminster variants? No, I've been doing the event. I think the record on that is 40,000 feet for falling and surviving. Yeah, it's up there, but man, I wouldn't want to try to break that record. No, no, parachutes are a good thing. Parachutes are a good thing. But yeah, I mean, there was people that did inside reporting, like, and it's all comes down to the people in charge at Boeing want to focus on money instead of profitability. Yeah, above 1,500 feet doesn't really matter. Terminal velocity is terminal velocity, exactly. It's better hero chest to focus this event, Gale or Penny. I mean, you're gonna have three other champions, right? I don't know that there is a focus. I think it's even split. Penelope actually mops. She's got the ability she has an item that actually wants item levels. Gale doesn't. I mean, if you want to go by that, but I think you get them both in good gear, right? Yeah, if you find yourself flying towards the ground, hurtling towards the ground at a fast rate, always polymorph into a goldfish. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that would never happen. Conspicuous compiler. That's a plot from a bad movie that nobody would believe. Stuff that happens in real life that you could never get away with writing into a movie, because somebody'd be like, that'd never happen. That's unrealistic. Gale just spiked a large button. I don't know why. So Death Crusader, apparently there's some weird bug going on, and the value of his debuff is fluctuating, but nobody knows why. Nobody knows why. Yeah, Texac, we tried. We tried. Have we had any crackles lately? Did we actually fix it? We haven't had any crackles since the last change. Oh, damn it. You're supposed to tell me yes so I can turn that software back on. So I can turn that software back on. Man. All right, let's see if we can force a crackle. I'm going to try to force a crackle, folks. So just let me know if you actually do hear anything. Can I reinstall it? I don't know that would make any difference. Something about the sending of data through multiple programs that's creating an issue. I think what might be happening, if I'm going to hypothesize about this, is that because that program is minimized, it's not getting Windows focus. And when I'm starting up a new program, that program grabs more push, and so the background program gets deprioritized even more, and it's causing a problem. So maybe if I somehow force it to always give that? Isn't there a way I can do that? Like force a program to always be getting a lot of attention. Um, that might be the that may be the way to try to do it. Did we have any crackling at all in the last minute or two, folks? Cal, I don't know if I can set priority on the thread. I don't know. Task manager detail set priority. Okay. All right. Well, I fired up a whole other account, and you're all saying nothing happened. Whereas yesterday, when I fired up my second Idle Champions account, uh, we went full on Rice Krispie treats. We went full on Rice Krispie treats. So, so what do you know? So it's that program. It seemed now currently feels like it's that program. Feels like it's that program. Which again, that's a I hate it. I hate that it's that program because I love that program. Uh, Hold on, folks. Since I opened up my other account, I'm setting it up to do another run. All right, there we go. Now I'm back. Level up over here. What program was it? NVIDIA Broadcast basically pulls out all background noises, so you just hear my voice. I had installed it when the tree fell on the house, and I had construction in the house and on the roof and stuff, and they were actively putting a new roof on the house, and it was scaring the hell out of me on a regular basis, and no one heard anything. It was great. It was great. It's not a noise gate program. It was literally pulling out all of the background noises. Like you can hear my mouse clicking, I think people were saying, and my keyboard. You can't hear that with that program on. We heard the fear in your voice, I bet. I bet. It sounded like somebody was coming through my roof on a regular basis. What's the best DPS in the game? Man, you came to the wrong place. Carlock. It depends. Like this is what people are just gonna go Artemis. There's a difference between the best DPS for you to use in places and the highest potential, right? And then what patron are you using? Because Elminster won't let Artemis in, right? So I don't know. It's whatever works best. The best DPS in the game is the one that helps you complete stuff. But it's you can't always use the same DPS in every place. And Spurt is the best support in the game. They don't actually do DPS. They don't. When they're dead, they can't attack. So. Well, sometimes if I'm moving my lips, I'm either not saying anything out loud or I have hit the mute button. Like, I can mute myself. Hey, we finished Elminster's errands. The Wizard of Waterdeep. Checkmate. Alright, we have unlocked Tier 2 for everything, but I'm not